Hey, what's going on guys? Jason here. In this video, I'll be talking about JSX and how it differs from HTML. So right now I'm using REPL.it. It's basically a website where you can write out some React code. So it has a folder structure set up for you. So right now I'm in the app.js file that's just rendering out an app component. And so I'll be talking about three things. The first one is custom CSS inline styling. So in HTML, the way you would use an inline CSS styling is you'd have a style tag like this, set it equal to whatever style you want to set it to, and it would be a string. So in this case, I just have background and then cyan. And as you can see, I'm getting an error here. And if I want to make it valid CSS styling for JSX, all I would have to do is add some curly braces there. Need to add another one there, and make that a string, take that off. And it looks like it works. And so it's close to the same thing. The difference is with JSX, whenever you like these outer curly braces, this is basically going to render out some type of JavaScript expression or variable. And so in this case, we're using the style property and we're using the outer curly braces. So now we know we want to add some JavaScript. So to reference some style, we're going to add an object inside those outer curly braces. And it's just like a regular JavaScript object. It's going to have a property, and that property will be whatever style we want. And then the value would just be the value of that style property. So in this case, like before, we just have background and then the value will be a string of cyan. So that's what we get there. And so let's say I was using the background color property. So in CSS, it would be something like this. But of course, we had an error. So in order to make that work, we'd have to do it in this format, background, and then the capital C for color. And so I believe there's a reference guide where you can see all the different style properties and how they should properly be named, but they're pretty close to the original CSS property. So that's how inline CSS styling works in JSX. And the second thing is, let's see, class names. So whenever you want to add a class to your HTML, all you have to do is do class equals something like that. And so this still works, but usually you'll get some type of warning where they recommend you use the class name property. So whenever you're using JSX, what you want to do is you want to do instead of class, you do class name. And then from there, you'll just add whatever string value you want to add your class. And this is because when you're using ES 2015 code, we have the new feature, the new class feature. And so that way it doesn't, collide with class name and class. I mean, it's not going to collide. It's just, a naming. They're both named the same thing. So you just want to differ the two essentially. But that's how that works. And the third thing would be, so there's class names and JavaScript objects, or I'm sorry, JavaScript expression. So using JavaScript variables inside your JSX. And so what I mean by that is, let's say I want to create a variable here. So I'll do button name, set it equal to submit. And if I want to use that variable inside my JSX, all I'd have to do is add in the curly braces here, like I did for the style property. And then in this, in these curly braces, it's going to expect some type of JavaScript expression. So I could add in the button name variable that I created here, and that variable will evaluate to the string, which will then output the button, the submit button there, or the string submit, which will give it the text for submit on that button. But that's how that works. You can also do something like, let's say I do let's see, let's say I do a function. I'll do an arrow function here, and in this function I will return that string. So again, well, I'm still getting an error here, so since this is a function now, I would have to invoke it, so that way I get the return value for this function, which would be submit. And let's see, submit, it's still not working. Button name, let's see, what are we getting here? So unexpected token, constant. Oh, I'm sorry, I did not define this correctly. And there we go, so we get the same thing. And so yep, so that's kind of the other, so that's the other difference between JSX and HTML. So you can use JavaScript inside your JSX to evaluate JavaScript expressions. So those are the basics of JSX versus HTML. So I hope you guys learned something new today. If you guys found this video useful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.